Morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Monday, and happy December. Yes, we're in the last month of the year of chaos. I hope it finds you well out there. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving holiday. We had a lot of fun. The food was, I don't know, it was better than normal, which is saying a lot because it's usually delicious. And how about the football, ASU? What the teams are picked last in the, well, I guess for the Big 12 now. Don't get me started on that. They're headed to the title game. My hometown, the Orangemen of Syracuse, yes, they beat up the Miami Hurricanes, and, well, it just made me happy. So I had a pretty darn good holiday weekend. And of course, you see all the nonsense now, like all these teams, like Michigan beats Ohio State, and they're going to plant the flag. Yeah, we're going to plant our flag right on the midfield of the opponent, and started all kinds of brawls and all kinds of other stuff. Yeah, you know. Well, this is how we take our gladiator stuff, right? This is how we do things in the new America. And then, of course, the big story, I guess, I'm not surprised, another politician who promised us and then said, well, you know, never mind, as Joe Biden has pardoned his son Hunter, because, well, it's just not fair. You know, it's just not fair that, you know, he did bad things, and, you know, and it's only because he's my son that you guys want to go after him for these bad things. So, Jason, maybe the next time any of us can, I've tried this. You can try it. It probably won't work, but it would make me laugh. But it probably wouldn't work. I'm going with the pardon, please, because, well, it's just not fair. Just not fair, Your Honor. And my dad's not the president of the United States, and I know he said he wasn't going to do it, but he did. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. If it was me, this is just total, complete honesty. If I was Joe Biden, I would have done the exact same thing, right? You know, of course you would. You know, I know that you did a lot of drugs and strippers and hookers and all of this other stuff. But, yeah, tell you what. All forgiven because you're better now. So, Jason, it was a lot, but again, this is the year of chaos. We shouldn't be surprised.
I think the hardest decision was probably, should we do this on the Thanksgiving holiday or the Christmas holiday? Which one can we hide it best? That's what it sounds like to me, Joe. Which of those holidays will the least amount of people be seeing this the decision, right? You know, maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe at the end of the Trump administration, he'll be pardoning his son. You know, if we can make it a tradition.
Right. Let the pardons begin. Well, don't they do that now? Right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe someone could eventually, you know, I know he's out now, but Julian Assange, maybe he could get a pardon or whatnot. But, you know, I did think that maybe Trump and Biden would do a deal. Right, where, okay, you're going to allow me to save face here, and when you get in, you go ahead and you pardon my son, and then you can pardon the January 6ers, and we'll call it even. But, yeah, you know, this is the difference. This is why we keep talking about all the time when we say, better have your gold and silver put away. Because the system isn't set up for us. It's not. Inflation only helps one group. Just one. Excuse me, I had to take a little sip of tea here. Just one group. And that's the uber rich. It really doesn't even help out. Like, the rich people. No, you got to be richer than that. I saw somewhere now where they say what used to, if I had $1 million, I mean, when I was growing up, $1 million was like an absurd amount of money. Right? That was just so far removed from my gosh, if I'd be the richest guy. Of course, you weren't going to be the richest guy in the world, but $1 million, you're going to be pretty rich, right? Now they're saying, well, you got to have at least $5.3 million, right? That's starting off. That's like the entry. That's like the poor rich guy now, $5 million, right? Yeah, inflation. If you only got $5 million, inflation sucks for you too. It's not set up for us. It truly isn't. And here's the ultimate thing. And it doesn't matter, I guess, whether your age or where you're at. How much longer do we have? I mean, realistically, how much further can we go? Right? And I know, hey, Donald Trump's coming in, and a lot of people, yeah, it's great. Right? They're excited. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. I get it. Right? Your guy won. You want to be happy. Yes. But remember what I've been saying, and I said it all year long. It really doesn't matter which one won. I know that upsets some people, but it's true. How much time do you think you really have with all of these dollars sitting in your bank accounts, your stock accounts, all of those? We're going to talk about it when we get back. 800-951-0592. Joe and Jason, Patriot Radio News Hour, here on this Monday, the second day of December. We're in the final month of the year of chaos, and, man, it just doesn't stop. But let's look quickly in. The Dow's down 130, no big deal, right? The S&P's up 10, the Nasdaq's up 170. The 10-year note, little higher right now, 4.2. So this is kind of, we're going to see with the rest of the year now, are we going to start seeing that 10-year note go right back, right, closer to that 4.5, with the Trump Treasury pick kind of out of the way now, focusing on fundamentals. We'll see crude oil's up a bit. Gold, which, gold wasn't close. Thanksgiving's not a, world holiday like Christmas and all that stuff. So gold had a great few days, Thursday, Friday. Right now, gold's down 7 right now, 26.42. Silver's a little lower as well, 30.35. But remember what we keep telling you. Diversifying. Why? Because every bubble that bursts is always bigger than the previous one. What was the last bubble? Well, that was they call it the financial crisis, right? Remember the financial crisis. Wall Street lost, a little over, 60% of its value, right? They started making up all this crap about quantitative easing and balance sheets and changed the rules on your bank accounts, your money market accounts, basically your stock accounts, even your stock trading accounts. Yeah, the ones that you do on your own. Changed all those rules. Now, did they tell you that on TV? Not really. Did they really go? No, because they didn't want to know. They said, oh, this is great. Look how safe it is. Everything's so much safer now. Well, guess what? All the things that made it safer, that weren't about, putting us holding the bag here, they've almost all gone away. Why? Well, because there's been more crisis. So don't worry, they've only temporarily suspended all this stuff. We'll get back to it later. And you're sitting there thinking, but isn't this a good time? Isn't it booming? Right? Unemployment's low. GDP's 3%. I mean, everything's great. Not really. Not really. That's why we keep telling you. Having big money in your bank account, it's not going to end well. It's not. The rules are different. You know what they haven't suspended? They haven't suspended bail-ins. Nope, they haven't done that. We're still going to be the ones holding the bag. And now, let's face it, if you had $1 million in your bank account, say in 2000, now you still have $1 million in there, now which would be idiotic in any no uncertain. That's just dumb. They only pretend to insure it for $250. So why would you have $1 million? But let's just say you did. That $1 million would have bought like 10 homes in Anthem in 2000. Today, it would buy 2. See the difference? But it's still $1 million. No, it's not. It's not. You've lost 80% of your purchasing power just this last 24 years. And it's only getting worse. You got big IRAs, big 401ks. You're like, well, Joe, yeah, okay, lost 60% of its value, but then it came back. Look at it now. It's all-time highs. It's great. Till it loses 60% again. See, and all we're saying is, don't lose the 60%. But you got to have some in there. You might be diversified, but have other stuff, other places that you can actually, when it does happen, and it does crash, hey, then you sell your good stuff, and you go buy this stuff for cheap again. That's what you do. Got to have it to do it. That's why you got to have your gold and silver put away. We should be, you know what, we're doing a lot of gold and silver IRAs, but we should be doing 3, 4, 5 a day. If you guys are really paying attention. A day. And here's a great thing with the IRA, especially those of you that I did good. I got a lot. I've got hundreds of thousands. I've got millions. You can do, hey, I'm going to take some of it. I'm going to put it in there with gold and silver. I'm going to take some of it. I'm going to call Y Refi. Why? Hey, because you know what? 10.25% every year up, and if you do a 5-year deal, it's 10.25% every year. What if the stock market loses 50%? Well, you still get 10.25 on your stuff. Check them out. InvestYRefi.com. That's the word invest, the letter Y, REFY.com. Or just call them. That's the easiest thing. 888-Y-REFI-24, 888-973-3924. Really quickly, so because I want to get into why Trump doesn't matter when it comes to your savings. How about that? When it comes to your savings, when it comes to what you have in your 401ks, your IRAs, your bank accounts, your stock accounts, doesn't matter. How much time do we have? That's really the only question. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's a lot less than most people want to believe. But before we get there, think about what's happening right now. Trump says, I may put 100% tariff on BRICS. They try to create their own currencies. Yeah, it's going to happen. I don't think they're too worried about it, right? Because, well, we don't make enough stuff for it to matter anymore. But I like the fact that at least somebody's acknowledging this is going to be a big problem. But how about this? Black Friday sales, early sales numbers down 3.2%. Not surprised. Commercial office delinquencies. By the way, this is another one of these rules that they changed. You want to know why we haven't seen all the banks go under yet? And notice I used the word yet. Delinquency rates spiking to 10.5%. Think about this. 10.5% of all office space is now delinquent. By the way, it's the fastest 2-year spike ever, and is now getting ready to take out, by the way, the peak of the financial crisis. It was only 10.7. We're at 10.4. So we're right there. And guess what? By next month, we will be there. But again, these banks are saying, well, we're just going to keep holding on to the loser. Listen, when it's down 80%, yeah, you can hold on to it for as long as you want. It's still going to be a loss, and that's really one of the big problems out there. How about this? Stellantis, their CEO, he stepped down. Car sales are in the toilet. Poor Starbucks. I know when it's $10 for a coffee, people got to, you know what, I got to find a cheaper alternative. Bonuses at Starbucks are going to be down 40% as well. Sales keep sliding at the coffee chain. And then France, look out, it's back again. France's debt exploding. They're looking at another no confidence vote for their elected officials. Jason, there's so many things. When you think about what's happening in our treasury market, you think about a country like France who, let's face it, first of all, they don't even have their own currency anymore. Remember, all fiat currencies go to zero. And now they're in violation of every EU spending policy. And these are all recipes for disasters that everybody needs to look out for. And right now, so think about this. Now they're on the brink. So they're going to need help, right? That means the EU is going to have to come in and what? We got to start buying French bonds. Well, what bonds do you think they're going to stop buying to buy the French ones? At the same time, our banks, our reverse repo, it's gone. The money's gone. We had $2.5 trillion of excess money, and it's all gone. Then Joe Biden wants $100 billion for relief aid for the hurricanes, another $24 billion. Can I get another $24 billion of weapons for Ukraine? Not to mention, we have no budget. You know, we just passed $36 trillion. Guess what? We have already added another $125 billion. It's only been a week. It's only been a week. And it just keeps piling on. And Jason, this is the problem, right? When everyone thinks about, hey, why won't Donald Trump matter? Because these things don't change. Matter of fact, most of us are anticipating what? The deficit gets worse. But it was going to get worse whether it was Trump or somebody else, because that's what our government does. When's the last time the deficit didn't get worse, right? And I know, throw COVID out, but ever since really going back to George Bush, every year the deficit seems to get a little worse and a little worse and a little worse. Oh, there's a war, there's a spike, a little worse, a little up, there's a financial crisis, there's a spike, then it's a little worse, a little, oh, there's this, and then there's a spike. And now, Jason, we're sitting here and we're talking about deficits that nobody in their right minds even know they're non-sustainable, but now we're struggling to sell it all.
I think Donald Trump being elected matters as far as the temperature of the country. I mean, a large percentage of the country voted for him, so they're not going to pay attention to what you're saying, Joe. They think everything's going to be fine. He's a businessman. He's a successful businessman. Everything will be fine. Even the people that don't like him, now that he's elected, they're not going to think that economically things will go right through the toilet. They think, well, I don't like him for X, Y, Z, but, economically, I guess we'll be all right. That's the one thing. So I would say 3/4 of the country probably believes that economically he's going to keep us safe. So it keeps everybody from looking at the actual facts that you bring to the air. And makes them comfortably numb, right? They're just quiet and happy that, okay, well, we got our guy in. Everything's going to be fine. And when something blows up, Joe, what are they going to blame? That's the whole thing. What are they going to blame the next economic downturn on? Because they're not going to blame Trump. They don't want to blame the Federal Reserve, that's for sure. So hold on to your hats, right, Joe? What's going to happen in the months to come? And the next 18 months, something severe will be happening. It'll happen within the next year and a half, Joe.
Yeah, and I want people to understand this. That's not much time. Could
happen in 1 month. Could happen in 1 month. Yeah.
And I'm going to just tell you, it's very simple. The dealers at these auctions are out of money. Period. They're out of money. What does that mean? That means their ability to continually support our treasury market is becoming a big problem. I'm going to say this. I think quantitative easing returns in 2025. 100-951-0592, Joe and Jason, Patriot Radio News Hour here on this Monday, kind of walking through these debt markets. So France's debt to GDP, I want to say, it's 110 or 115%, right? We're above that number, right? We're all cascading towards a new money system. I mean, that's just what's going to happen. All fiat money goes to zero. How much more time do we have? Well, based on what I'm looking at, I think March is going to become very interesting. I think we're going to start seeing the treasury markets struggling to sell the overwhelming amount of debt. I don't know if it'll be ours or France or Japan or Germany or England, right? Think about just this year. France had a hiccup, what was it, 6 to 8 months ago? Japan had a hiccup. Remember that? That was insane. Then was it a month and a half ago? Wasn't it England? England had a big problem, right? This thing, the signs are all there. They're all there. The spreads are super, super tight, getting ready to snap. And the dealers, their balance sheets are chock full. Who is going to buy it all? That's the problem. And really, not just buy it, but at what price? Right? Why is the 10-year note yields not going down when the Fed has been cutting rates? And the answer is simple. Too much debt, not enough money. Too much debt, not enough money. And when all of these things come together, it creates shocks, panics. The Fed, at least so far, and just by the record, they've been terrible at this. Right? They've been terrible at it. Every major financial institution that does anything in the Treasury market has been warning about this now for like the last 90 days. And saying, why did the yield curve all of a sudden uninvert? Why do you think that happened? I mean, what did we go? How many years did we go with the longest inverted yield curve of all time? Just suddenly, what changed? What changed? I'm going to tell you what changed. The money ran out. That's what changed. And everybody knows it. Except who? Except us. Remember what the rules are. At any point, the banks can tell you no. How often do they do it now? They do it all the time. Hey, I want cash. No. Why do you want it? What are you going to do with it? Heaven forbid you put it. Where did you get this money? No. I don't want to close my account. No. Can't do it. I want to withdraw more than $100. Nope. At any point, they can just say no. It's a fact. Why? Because the money's not yours. It's not yours. Legally, it is not yours. But it's worse than that. They can decide that your money market monies. Hey, I want access to that. They can tell you no. They can tell you, well, we can give it to you, but we're going to charge you a fee. Right? Well, I want my money. Well, okay, it's going to cost you 10%. You know when you bring your change to the supermarket, you put it in that machine, right, and it'll wax it for like 11%? Yeah, that's what they can do that. Well, it's an emergency. Hey, the money market, we bought all these treasuries and stuff. You know what? It's not working out well for us. I know you gave us $100,000, but now it's worth 90. Sorry. All of that's legal. And think about how many people have rushed to their money markets after Silicon Valley Bank without even knowing what the rules are. How about your 401k or IRAs? They can make it to where you can't even go to the sideline. Right? Hey, just sell everything. I don't want my money, but I don't want to be in Wall Street. No, sorry, can't today. Try tomorrow. Call me next week. I'll let you know. Your E-Trade accounts, your Schwab accounts, they can stop all of it. Think about this. We'll only let you buy. We won't let you sell. Well, I don't want to buy. Right? Everything's going down. I want to sell. Nope. They're all in place. And guess what? They make them worse. Like they didn't anticipate all these people run into money market accounts. So now they made that rule. They made those. They just changed them. Well, my broker didn't call me. E.F. Hutton didn't call me. Of course, E.F. Hutton. Remember that guy? He made money the old-fashioned way, yeah. Of course they didn't call you. Most of them probably don't even know because they're as dumb as you guys are. It appeared on some electronic financial statement that was on the back page. I don't know if you can read a back page on a financial statement, but they told you. These are the rules that are in place. And it's coming. And there's nothing. I wish there was something we could do to stop. There isn't. I wish there was. I mean, we could. Right? If we decided that, hey, Social Security, we're just going to give everyone 10% less, 20% less. Medicare, Medicaid, same thing, right? All of that. No, we're not doing that. I know that we've got a commission. It sounds great. Vivek and Musk, I love it. I do. But it's so, the enormity of it is what makes it impossible. Patriot Radio News Hour, one of the biggest gold specials. Holiday season is here. We are heating it up. Get ready. 800-951-0592. Today's special, and it's just great. You know, I love this time of year because you do get some really good opportunities. We had some great specials all weekend long. We were the cheapest people out there on Silver Eagles all weekend. All holiday weekend. We're about ready to do it on the gold side. Today's special, Mint State 62 $20 Liberties. And just so people know, used to be when I first started, a Mint State 63 $20 Liberty, it used to be like $10 or $15 more than a 63 Saint. Well, now it's hundreds of dollars more. But now, the 62 Liberties, they're worth more than a 62 St. Gaudens. Why? Well, because there's just so much less of them. We're thinking about a Mint State 62 Liberty. You're talking about 1866 to 1907, right? First of. It was money back then, right? You put it down at the hardware store, wherever it may be. And just think about it this way. Our regular gold pieces, think about it like a book, right? It's been read a few times, and you know it's been read. Maybe there's someone dog-eared a page or something like that, right? You know, it's still nice, right? The cover's nice and it looks nice, but, you know, it's been used. When you get the graded ones, they come in this hard plastic case. It's great because you can see right through it. I mean, you can see it, but it's protected. You can't dog-ear it anymore. Or whatever. You got to go out of your way to damage the coin. It never made it into circulation. What does that mean? That means it sat in a treasury bag. And maybe, you know, think about it, this is back before there was cars. Right? It was going on a stagecoach, bouncing up and down, or a rail car. Maybe it was on a boat. Probably spent time in Europe. But sat in these bags. And depending on how many bag marks, you know, digs, you know, from the coins, just because there's 1,000 of them in these bags, they graded them. They're beautiful looking coins. And they've been authenticated, certified, PCGS and NGC. Those are, for those, well, I don't know what that means. Just take my word for it. Those are the two premium grading agencies. There's nothing better than them. And they always are more expensive. And, of course, we always tell you, hey, don't buy stuff where you got to pay a premium. You want to buy for the gold content. You want to keep the premiums down because a lot of dealers out there, they take these graded coins and they just jack up the prices. You're paying 20, 30% premiums. We don't do that here. But just to give you an idea, this morning, a Mint State 62 $20 Liberty was $3,053. They're on sale today for $2,795. You heard me right. That is $30 less than what our regular $20 gold pieces are going. The $20 gold piece today, $2,825. Forget it. Mint State 62 $20 gold pieces, $2,795. You're saving over like $250 a shot. But wait. If you buy 25 or more, $2,795. Jason. It's an incredible opportunity, and especially you don't buy graded coins this close to spot ever, but here it is. Yeah, I'm not getting you. Oh, there you go, Jason. Go ahead, Jason. You're good. You're good. Go ahead.
Graded coins close to the raw gold price, is always a great time to buy in. So I know we have customers that wait just for these graded coin deals. So you guys better jump on, and it's great. I mean, it's nice to have just any ounces of gold. As many ounces of gold as you can get. But if you could spend just a couple bucks more and get graded gold, and let me say this, because when it comes to pre-33 gold, there's not a lot of this stuff that's faked, but there are gold coins that are faked out there. What's cool about a graded coin, you get something extra you do get is this has been verified. It's been looked at by professionals that said, hey, number one, it is a mint state 62, but also it is a gold coin. So if you ever have to sell this for some reason in the future to an amateur, you've got a third-party grading company that says, look, it's legit. Not only is it legit, it's mint state, Joe.
Yeah, and we do from time to time get, and we run these, hey, it's the same price. Hey, maybe you saved $5, $10. I've never seen it. $30 less, buy 25 or more, $50 less. Now that's how you put gold away. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason, final segment on this Monday. Stay with us. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour on this Monday. A huge sale here. Mint State 62, $20 Liberties. Regularly over $3,050 on sale today. $27.95. 25 or more. $27.75. $30 to $50 less than our ungraded $20 Liberties. Of course, why do we like gold the best? Well, first of all, right now, look how inexpensive it is. I mean, this is like gold bar pricing. Really, it is. It's so inexpensive. And the best part is it's the most private way to own gold. What does that mean? Well, when you go to sell it back, in any amount, you can sell back 1, 10, 100, 200, 300, doesn't matter, in any amount. It's, here's a check, here's a bank wire, have a nice day. Not, oh, by the way, I need to get your social security number, I got to get my accountant on the phone, what's your address? Give me a copy of your driver's license, right? Because I got to tell the IRS that you sold, 100,000, 200,000, whatever it is. You don't have to go through that with pre-1933 gold. Why? Because that's how they wrote the rules. I didn't create it, but I want my customers to take advantage of it. And today, what a great opportunity! By the way, French bonds are now blowing out. As the national opposition party, Le Pen, she was out saying that there is a no confidence motion being brought. Once again, there's no way out for a government that reconnects with the threads, which refuses to take into account the social emergency at the end of the month. And ignores the need to relaunch growth. So, Jason, this is the big thing, right? The only way these countries see any way out is we've got to be able to grow our way out of it. And if we can't grow our way out of it, we're going to be in big trouble. And this is kind of something I think we're going to see happening everywhere. And guess what? As soon as this starts to happen, what happens to the bond markets? They blow out.
And then, Joe, and then what? Then what happens? Right? What happens when the bond markets blow out, right? And you've been saying it many times, what happens if a bond market gets to the point where they can't sell it, right? And I think that's where the Fed steps in. I think the Fed's going to come in and just buy it all. They're not going to let it fail. They're just going to buy it all and quantitative easing, right?
Yeah, and think about this, too. Here we are now. The president pardons his son. Do you think that gives confidence to the world? Does it? You think that does a lot? No. Does it give confidence for the citizenry about what we don't really think a lot of our elected officials as it is. And you got to remember, when there's a confidence problem in a country's debt market, that becomes a global problem. And of course, we sit at the biggest seat at that global table. I hope you're heeding this advice. Get more diversified while you can. Take advantage of the frothy stock market and start protecting that money of yours. 800-951-0592.